over time because everyone gets quiet at exactly 6:30. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending our June 26th special call meeting this evening. We will declare this meeting to come to order at this time, and we will ask each of you to stand as we do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. When we first planned this meeting, I was thinking that we would have about 3-4 items on this agenda tonight. And I promised the board we would be out in about 30 minutes. I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm looking at the documents that we have to cover tonight. We might be here a little more than 30 minutes. Just bear with us. We have business that we really have to take care of. We will not delay. I hope each of you have had an opportunity to pick up an agenda. Normally, we follow our agenda to the T. There's one item that is not on this agenda tonight, and the reason for that is when we call a special call meeting such as this, we do not have public comments. If you have public comments you need to make, we will be back here July 10th, I believe, second Monday. At this time, we will call Susan Hope, if you would come forward. Item 2, with our recognitions.
And I'd like to ask Dr. Hartledger to come forward to help this presentation.
I'll ask Dr. Bridges to come forward and make your presentation as well.
Call anybody? Come forward.
So during this time of our meeting, at each meeting of the board, as Ms. Wilson so eloquently states, this is a time where we honor individuals for their outstanding achievement and contributions to the school system, and ultimately to the community at large, which the school system serves so well. This is an outstanding time for Edgecombe County Schools to honor individuals that have given of their time, their efforts, so eloquently to serve students and the community. The individual that we're recognizing here tonight has a commendation, certificate of appreciation from the town of Tarboro. I tried so hard to get a Order of the Longleaf Pine Award, but I was corrected by the governor that those are not given until an individual has 30 years of service, for good reason. And so the next thing that could be provided was a personal letter from the governor, as well as a certificate of appreciation from the state of North Carolina. And so this individual here tonight that we are going to recognize has done such an outstanding job for our school system and for our community. And so at this time, Dr. Bridges, I think it would be fitting if we recognize this employee for their outstanding contributions. And so I'm going to ask David Copeland, please come forward.
Thank you.
Excuse me, David. I think I made a mistake. David, I do want to say this. I want to see Bob squirm a little bit.
That's a good one.
And I do want to say this. Hold tight, David. Hold tight. David does a great job. You see, Mr. Farley has been saying, you guys don't know what a wry sense of humor I really have. Mr. Farley has been saying for the past week or so, since he's seen this agenda, oh my goodness, there's somebody that's going to get recognized, and I just don't want the recognition. But there comes a time when I believe truly that an individual deserves their accolades for the outstanding things that Mr. Farley has done for our school system. I can say in the almost 20 years that I've been here in Edgecombe County, I don't know that I've seen another superintendent like him in Edgecombe County or any other county for that matter. And in terms of his dedication to kids, people, and taking the time to really get to know people and the community is so important. And he has done that really second to no one, and has become involved, and our student achievement has risen dramatically, consistently each and every year. And I know that our kids are far better off because of his leadership and because of the countless contributions that he's made to Edgecombe County. Dr. Bridges?
So again, I joined Mark in the accolades. Love to joke you and glad to see you squirm a
That's
little
a
bit.
good one.
But we have enjoyed your leadership and we appreciate the trajectory that you have us on. We believe we're on a path to success and we will continue it in Edgecombe. We'll be calling on you and checking in with you. But thank you so much for your leadership and all the things that you've done for our students, for our staff, and for our community. Thank you so much.
To these comments. I can't believe you all are doing this because he just said to me the other day, I don't know what he was thinking, but he said to me, you know, I don't worry about plaques and all kinds of things like this. You notice I don't have all this stuff hanging on my wall. I said to myself, why is he saying this to me? But anyway, congratulations. Thank you so much for your leadership and everything. Oh, you got something put on the wall. I'm sorry. You got something.
I won't have to.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you, Mark.
Yes. Mark.
So first I got, oh yeah.
Yes,
Sure. So first, David, I got 4 days to get you. You know, I had a long talk with our district leadership, and I won't repeat the speech because I think they know how they feel about them and the work that's gone on here. And I told them I'm not a good crier, so I'm going to fight it back, and the tears aren't going to fly. But there've been a lot in the last 2 or 3 weeks, especially. I walked to work yesterday. I walked home. And I just thought about you all in the community. And I'm just really proud. I'm very thankful to the Board of Education and all the board members that I've worked with in the last 5 years. And two of the best chairs and leaders in the state of North Carolina. John F. Kennedy once said that leadership and learning are indispensable of each other. And the one thing I've learned is that anything can be accomplished. And the confidence and the energy and the synergy that has gone on and has developed in the last 5 years has been amazing in a lot of ways. And we have so much further to go. And this has been my life. It's not been a job. It's been my life. And I couldn't be more thankful for my wife as well. Well, the friends, the support, I told you I was not a good crier. And that's true. But we have loved living here. Absolutely loved it. And the community has embraced us. And we still have mountains of challenges to go. But every single day I feel like for the last 5 years, and the work continues, that we've made progress. And there's a lot to be said about where you go from here, and I think part of the strength of the organization is when you lead a leadership, you lose a leadership cog, that you close the gap quickly and you keep it moving. And I feel absolutely for sure that that's going to happen, and I'm really excited about just playing a small role in what's gone on in our community in the last 5 years. And so I'm just thankful and been blessed, and I'm gonna, friendships are forever, and the relationships continue, and that's what it's about, and that's what it's always been about. It's about the work, it's about children, it's about doing the right things, and it's been my honor and privilege to serve, and I'm just very appreciative of all the support that we've received, and I'm looking forward to great things, and I'm sure that the next superintendent will come in with new ideas, which is healthy, and continue on this upward track that the school system and the community's on. So thank you so much. I'm very appreciative.
That is not the end, Mr. Farley. You might be trying some more. Because we have something else in store for you. After we have our motion to go into closed session, we will take a break so that everyone that's here, if you like to, we have refreshments in the back. And if you want to speak to Mr. Farley, make him cry some more.
It's all out.
We'll have time to do that. We will take, I'm not sure, maybe 15, 20-minute break so that everyone that's here, if you choose to do that, we will do that at that time. Okay? Now we're back to item number 3. And I guess you, I don't want to have a motion to write that in. I'm just making that statement because he's leaving, that we would do that at that time. Okay? Now we're looking at the remainder of the agenda as you see before you, board members. We would need to approve these items.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the June 26, 2017 agenda as presented.
Second.
Has been moved and second that we will approve the June 26, 2017 agenda as printed. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you very kindly. Item 4.
Madam Chair, item 418, asking for approval of fundraiser. The work continues in the summer at Patillo. W.A. Patillo has a fundraiser, Twister Train, and Sell Donuts. Looking for board approval on the fundraiser.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the fundraiser for W.A. Patilla to sell Krispy Kreme donuts.
Second.
Has been moved and second that we will approve the W.A. Patilla fundraiser to sell donuts. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried.
Thank you.
Item 4.B.
4.1B is approval of budget amendments for 2016-17. Ms. Lee.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Mr. Farley. We have our final budget amendment for our fiscal year that's going to end on this Friday. In the amendment, we are adjusting all of our funds, and starting with our state public school fund, in which we are making sure to maximize our state dollars to ensure that none of our state money reverts. We've made transfers between PRCs so that we can be assured that none of it's going to revert. And on the local, is a matter, we had some calls that were underestimated and some that were overestimated, so we're making transfers within the local budget for those costs. And in federal, we recently had an increase in the Title I allotment of the $7,272, so that's bringing that into the budget. And on capital outlay, our buildings and grounds, when spring comes and the weather warms up, we have an increase, they're replacing the air compressors. So that cost was more than we had anticipated. So we are adjusting for that cost. And also in our enterprise funds, we're adjusting for the receipt of additional money in the child nutrition program, as well as for the additional costs within our daycare fee for service program. And in our other restricted fund, we're adjusting it to the what we anticipate our actual collections to be from the JRTC for that program, as well as the reimbursement related to the NELA, the North Carolina Leadership Academy, as well as the Edgecombe Community College reimbursement for teachers that actually teach community college classes. They reimburse us for the cost of that. We also anticipate our indirect cost reimbursements to be greater than we've estimated, so we'll use that to help offset local and the utilities. And if there are any questions, that's our final budget amendment for 2016-17.
Anyone have any questions? All right, need a motion for
Motion to approve the budget amendment number 4 for 2016-2017 as presented.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that we will approve the budget amendment number 4 for 2016-2017 as presented. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you very kindly.
For 2B, Ms. Leary also has approval of the continuation of insurance programs listed for 17-18.
You have in your packet the cost of the insurances for the past 3 years, including the projection for next year. Pretty much the costs are the same, and we're staying with the same providers as we've had in the prior year. There is some increase in our workers' comp due to anticipating a increase in salaries. And also, we've reevaluated our property insurance with DPI on the heels of Hurricane Matthew and looking at our building values and our contents values, and we've increased that, which created an increase in the premium of that as well.
Any questions? Board members? Hearing none, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the continuation of the insurance programs as listed.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that we will approve the continuation of insurance programs as listed. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura, for your hard work.
4.3B is approval of memorandum agreement between the Board of Education and the Edgecombe County Health Department for 17-18. Ms. Pittman is going to present.
Good evening, Madam Board Chair, Madam Vice Chair, Board of Education members, and Mr. Farley. I stand before you this evening to present the 2017-2018 annual Memorandum of Agreement between the Edgecombe County Board of Education and the Edgecombe County Health Department. This year's MOA mirrors last year's MOA with the exception of 2 additions. Addition number 1 is found on page 17 and references the CLEAR certificate of waiver. This certificate of waiver is regulated by the federal government for any test performed on our premises, such as blood glucose testing, for the purpose of providing information for the diagnosis, prevention, and treatment of any disease. The second edition is found on page 18, and it references cafeteria, water, and sanitation inspections. This section states that ECPS will follow the Edgecombe County Health Department's instructions to address concerns related to suspected mold, school air quality, or other identified sanitation or health concerns. Are there any questions at this time?
This is not necessarily a question. If you would turn to page 2. And if we would look at under item 2, the C paragraph,
Yes.
to me, that is something that is very, very important. And I'm saying that's important because whatever the health department may make an error as it relates to IRS, then we are held accountable. Now, that's the way I read that paragraph, but if I don't have it right, explain that to me. I mean, we are held responsible, like if they make a mistake, is that what that's saying when it says, the Edgecombe County Health Department, both parties upon receipt of either of the notices from IRS or any other governmental agent shall promptly be notified, and whatever comes out of that, are we held responsible, or is it just the health department? And if that's something you have to research, just do it, check it out. You may not have that information in front of you, okay? That little part I picked up and reading it, because see, some of these clauses, we want to really understand it, so that's why I just called that one to your attention. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments as you read through this document? It's a very thick document. It's about 23, 4 or 5 pages. So we want to be sure, because that's a big, it's an important job, and it's very, very serious. That's why I read it closely. Okay. No other question? You may be out there too. Okay. Hearing none, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the memorandum of agreement between the Edgecombe County Board of Education and the Edgecombe County Health Department for 2017-18.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that we will approve the memorandum of agreement between the Edgecombe County Board of Education and the Edgecombe County Health Department for 2017-2018. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you
Ms.
so
Stevens, so much.
Shirley. 4.4B is approval of accepted children's program contracts for 17-18. Dr. Roberts.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the school board, and Mr. Farley. I'm presenting to you 2 contracts, both from a vendor we have a trusted relationship with, Kinetic, and one is for occupational therapy, one is for speech therapy, and they are very similar to last year's and previous years.
I have one question. Have you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, that's all you're gonna say. Okay, page 1 of 12, if we could look at that, and the first, the occupational.
This is for occupational therapy, okay?
Yes. What I read in the second sentence, in my book, it says May 117th year. Do you mean for it to be 1 year later, or you just mean?
No, ma'am, I believe that's a typo. Yes.
2017?
That's right, 2017, yes.
Okay. All right.
And that may be a wrong version of the contract, I'm not really sure, but I do apologize for the typo.
Okay, all right. We don't want it to go wherever it has to go.
That's right, yes.
We don't want to go back to the people with that. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Because the other one,
Is it correct?
I don't have any questions on it. Does anybody else see any?
Ms. Wilson, I would just, that's the day the contract is entered, so I would suggest that that be today's date, since that's the date that this board is approving it.
Okay.
To make that
I'll
change.
make
Rather than what?
Because the May 16th doesn't make sense
Right.
for that.
Yes.
And then
I just knew something wrong with it.
on
okay?
page 3, it says the contract services will be provided from September 14th through June 30th of next year, so.
So we need to change that.
So I think it's just on the first page, in that first paragraph, you pointed out should just be today's date.
Yeah. Okay.
Are there other questions?
I don't think so. I believe we can vote on this as one item, or should we vote on these as separate items? What you think?
I would suggest making it two
Okay.
separate items.
Okay. All right.
I need that as an amendment.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the occupational therapy services contract as amended.
I second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve the occupational therapy contract as amended. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The same thing. The motion is carried. Now we need one for the speech language contract.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the speech services for the 2017-18 school year.
Second.
Did we? You second the motion. Now it's up for discussion.
This
I
has
need
the
to-
same issue
same
with the
problem.
Oh, as amended.
Yes, as amended.
amended.
So we have to correct that. That's okay. Catch it beforehand. Okay, so no. Any other question or discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. We got your dates correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 4.5B is approval of the contract renewal between ECGS and NC Driving School Incorporated for 17-18. Mr. Coker, and feel free to ask him all kinds of
Okay.
questions.
I think this is legit this time. Before you have the contract with Travis Education, I apologize for being late getting to you. We had some last minute changes that we had to make, and we got the bids back Friday on North Carolina Driving School got the low bid on it. We have been dealing with North Carolina Driving School for several years and has had real good success with them. And, recommendation is that the board approves a one-year contract with 2 additional one-year terms with North Carolina Driving School.
Could I ask you a question on the very front page, just to make sure I understand this? With the classroom instruction and behind the wheel training, it comes to a total of 210, is that correct?
That is correct.
So that's what the student pays.
That's what we,
That's
that's what we pay the driving school to.
But
do.
students-
Right now, students are, the only thing that we have that the students pay is that $35 extra fee that we could add on to that y'all approved like a year or 2 ago. Everything else is money we get from the state.
All right, okay.
And we still have the lowest rate for students.
Anyone else? Mr. Farley, I would probably have a lot of questions for him.
He's got 2 more items.
He gave us this the last minute. Okay. All right, anybody have any other questions that you see in this document that you may want to ask? Ms. Coker, if not, I need to get a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I recommend that we accept the board, the bid for the second contract with North Carolina Driving School until June 30th, 2018, with no additional one-year term. With 2 additional one-year terms. Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve the North Carolina Driving School contract until June 30th, 2018, with 2 additional one-year terms. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. 6B is approval of the three-year contract between the Board of Education and Safel Incorporated from July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2020.
Again, as y'all know, we've been dealing with Safel for a long time. They have been giving us custodial service. We're buying supplies and they're doing all of our training and so forth. And their price has not increased from when we started with them with this contract 10 or 12 years ago. They have been holding it at the same price. Our recommendation is that we extend the contract for 3 additional years.
Okay. Anybody else have a question before we move for a motion? I need to hear a motion.
Madam Chair, make a motion that we approve the 3-year contract between the Edgecombe County Board of Education and Safel from July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2020.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will recommend the extension of the contract with Safel 3 additional years. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 4.7B is approval of repairs to the gym wall at Patilla Middle School.
And I know most of y'all have seen the back wall of Patilla in the gym is settled. It's getting larger and larger. We felt like at one time it might settle out and stop, but it hasn't. It keeps getting bigger. I brought a company in here to look at going underneath the foundation and pumping concrete under the foundation to see if we can get this to lift back up. They gave us a price, as you see on it. The only thing different that we're asking for, we usually ask for a 10% contingency on repairs like this. Being in the ground, we really don't know what we're gonna run into. We think we've got a plan, but in this particular one, we're asking for a 25% contingency, just in case we run into something that we don't know what we're gonna run into.
That's been going on for a while.
It has. We thought it was maybe get to a point where it was repairable, but it just seems to keep growing. It just keeps growing.
You think the recent
Yeah.
rain?
That particular, when that gym was built, that particular area was built up. That is, if you walk out the back of the gym, it's got that wall that goes straight down. All that was built up when we built that building. We pulled the compaction factors and everything when that was done, and everything was done correctly.
Okay.
Really just don't know what's going on down there. Really don't know.
So we think that this will answer.
We are hoping so.
I've been
We are
saying.
hoping so, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you though for your hard work with that. Do we hear a motion?
Madam Chair, I offer a motion to accept the proposal from Ramjack to repair the walls at Patilla Gym.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will accept the proposal from Ramjack to repair the wall at Patilla Gym. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. And lastly, 4.8B is approval of the 2017-18 ECPS traditional school calendar addendum. Ms. Hope, with a slight change recommendation.
Good evening, Madam Board Chair and Vice Chair, members of the Board, and Superintendent Valerie. As you know, in years past, the Friday before spring break is a early release day for students. And so we'd like to make one change to the school calendar you have previously approved for the 2017-18 school year to make Friday, March 30th, 2018, an early release day for students.
Anybody have any questions to Ms. Hope? I assume she talked to the committee and got approval to come before. Okay, We need the motion, if we have no questions, for this approval, a change in the tradition calendar.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the 2017-18 traditional school calendar addendum for Edgecombe County Public Schools.
Second.
Has been moved and second that we will approve the 2017-18 calendar for traditional school addendum for Friday, March 30, 2018, as a early release date. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you very kindly. Item 5.
We had 4 trips that fell in between board meetings, Reach Southwest, Monticello. Any questions on those trips?
Good. So we do not have all of that. Okay. Do y'all remember what I said earlier on?
Yes, ma'am.
We need to hear a motion to go into closed session, and then we're gonna take a break. Few-minute break, we'll assemble back.
I make a motion under the North Carolina Open Meetings Law, section 143, 318, 11, A1, A3, A5, and A6, to go into closed session to consider personnel matters, to consult with the attorney to preserve attorney-client privileged information, to prevent the disclosure of personnel records rendered confidential under GS 115C, 319, or 321, and to instruct board agents concerning negotiations and already concluded contracts.
Second.
Has been moved and second that we will go into closed session. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. We'll take a little break and go in. All of y'all can come.
Mr. Nancy will bring you one of those pale blue leaves.
Okay. We're now in open session. Item number 7, approval of closed session, personnel management.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the superintendent's recommendation for personnel.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve the superintendent's recommendation on personnel management. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very kindly. Other personnel.
Madam Chair, I move that the board waive the policy requirement to post the vacancy in the superintendent's position and approve Dr. Valerie Bridgers as superintendent for the 4-year contract on the terms negotiated by the board chair and the board's legal counsel.
Second.
Has been moved and properly seconded that we will approve a 4-year contract for Dr. Valerie Bridges to serve as the superintendent for Edgecombe County Public Schools. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. And at this time, we need to hear a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Did someone second?
I did.
Oh, right. It has been moved and seconded that we will adjourn our call meeting, June 26, 2017. Any other discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for your attention.